Hi, I'm Anna.
And I'm Ben.
And we are AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we are watching episode 12 of Horimiya. If you don't want to wait for episode 13, check our link below to our Patreon, where we offer 1 week early access. But with that out of the way, I am just ready, nervous in a kind of way, because I don't want the show to end, man. And I really enjoyed last episode and all the ones before that, but I'm sad to see this show inevitably going. I knew it was always going to happen, but I also didn't know how much I was going to love the show going into it. This is one of my first experiences with however you'd classify this anime. I usually watch fighting and stuff like that, you know?
You definitely watch shows that have some action-packed scenes coming at you at least once in every episode. This show is definitely very different than your normal catalog of shows you watch on your own time.
I didn't expect to have this reaction to the show. I thought maybe I'd be like, oh, that was pretty good.
Oh, that was nice. That made me feel like a little warm and fuzzy. That was nice. Kind of move on now.
But like the emotional aspects of the show that have gotten to me have really stayed with me. And I feel like I connect with a lot of the situations in the show, which is crazy to me for only being one season, 12 episodes, and
Yeah. I would say this show, out of any of the others that I've seen, I would say it's not always the case that I find more than one character even slightly relatable to myself. Normally I just kind of pick out one and I'm like, I relate to you, I like you, or oh, they just said something that I would have said, or a situation happened to them that's similar than something that's happened to me. And I would say that I, even if not directly or completely the same way, chain of events, I would say that a lot of characters in this show are relatively relatable to me in some shape or form.
Yeah.
And I enjoy being able to connect with people that are so different from each other, and they're all in the same school. It's a very interesting way to even think about the school as a whole as containing these students, that each one of them is so kind of realistically written that you're able to connect and relate in different aspects to all of them within one building. And I think that aids the fact that this show kind of skips between the characters every episode.
Yeah, agreed. Do you think we're gonna get any more of Moto?
I don't want to say yeah, because I'm like, we got like a nice little Shu Moto thing. We got to know them a little bit. We know that she's going to be studying under the tutelage of Hori. There was obviously the funny moment with her thinking that Miyamura was also Hori's brother. And then obviously it ended with both siblings thinking the other sibling hated them. So maybe there will be, well, I was hoping that this show would end with some form of closure for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say Shu's closure and Moto's closure would probably be that their sibling loves them and supports them. So I'm hoping that we'll get that in the next couple episodes before the end. But I'm trying to not have expectations to have that as well, because I want to stay open-minded. I want to accept whatever the show has to offer and just fully immerse into it, because it definitely breaks the norm of what I'm used to in a structure of a show. I just need to accept it and enjoy it.
I have no reason not to trust this show up to this point. So whichever direction they go, I am hopeful and optimistic that it's going to be the same quality as the previous episodes.
Yeah.
And I'm just ready to, I guess, finish the series,
When you say it like that, it's so sad.
I know. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Sweet. You ready?
Yes. Yes.
Ooh.
What?
ごめん、そういう話では全くない。庶民じゃなかったの。
何何？
うるせ金持ち。
うちそんなに予約取らないから。 切羽詰まってないし。
じゃあ生クリームのやつがいいな。
オッケ
No idea where this episode's gonna go.
Yeah, no.
宮村くんのかな。
お前、宮村くんは絶対呼べよ。最悪お前いなくてもいいから。宮村くんは絶対呼べよ。
聖夜に家から追い出すぞ。
ー。イブの前日からちょっと手伝わなきゃいけないかも。
だよね。
I love his jacket.
何やっぱ宮村くん
Oh no, they're so upset.
ごめんね。
宮村くん
I wonder if this is gonna be like a buying Christmas presents episode where they're like shopping for presents for each other.
Maybe.
They teased me a little bit with that like Yuki Toru thing. I was like, oh, this is a Yuki Toru episode.
Well, maybe they're spending Christmas together.
Don't get my hopes up, Ben. It would have been totally unrealistic for him to have free time towards the holidays, given his family's business.
Yeah.
I don't know why I full on expected him to be there, completely doing all these Christmassy activities with them.
Do you think that's gonna affect the relationship?
I hope not.
Like, not like in a serious way necessarily, but just like, this is their first time handling things like this, right?
Yeah, I mean, the first time handling holidays, like big holidays in a relationship is a big deal. Especially with the, like, whose family do you spend the time with?
There's never a right answer, really. You have
No.
to, like, balance these two people's, like, two individuals' happiness and, like, routine.
And their lives that they had before,
But
and
also
have
wanting to see
before
each other.
without you, yeah.
俺最近まで堀のこと好きだったじゃん。
Oh my god, what's he gonna say?
もうとっくに諦めてるものと。ほんで河野さんともいろいろあったじゃん。っ
Yes.
Mhm.
て言われても。
He's talking to us.
俺さ、吉川って友達以上だけど付き合うとかそういうんじゃないんだ。え？え？え？え？
Eh?
もうとっくに付き合ってるもの。どうせ付き合ってると思っていたとでも思っていたんだろうと思っていたところだ。好きじゃないの？好きだよ。
Then why aren't you dating?
I love this music.
こういうのってさ、他人がどう思うかより自分がどう思ってるかが大事なんじゃないの？石川くんも吉川さんも今に不満がないなら、そういうのもありなのかもね。え？何？
戦国三世。彼女を射止めた恋愛マイスターは言うことが違うだ。
A master romancer.
I mean, he is.
Ayasaki's just off somewhere, looking for a Christmas present for him.
They had the longest relationship, correct?
今日ゲームしに行ってもいい？
あ、いや、今日は。
あ、ダメ？
Does he feel different now after telling
そうい
them?
うわけじゃない。
He's just making it a little weird.
まあ、いいや。いらっしゃい。
都合悪いならいいよ。
いや、いずれどうせ。
It was gonna happen sooner or later.
Like the talk, I guess.
Or is his room messy?
ただいま。
Oh no, a sibling is home for Christmas or something.
早く2回行こうぜ。早く。
Oh god.
It's like he has an older sibling in college or something.
もしかしてお母さんとかお父さんいるのかな。私を見せるのが嫌とか。
How would he introduce her?
なんで今鍵かけたの？
でって。
なぜネクタイを緩めたの？
Misunderstanding.
どうぞ。
え？
いや別に何もしねえけど。
違う。別に嫌とか怖いとか。
そうなの？
あ、うん。
Oh my gosh.
トールくん？
忘れてた。
お友達？
お友達来てるから。
Oh no. Oh no.
お母さん？お母さん？何かお飲み物をお持ちしない？ 俺、迷惑なら私帰るよ。
いいから、吉川はそこにいろ。
吉川さんっていうの。ケーキは好きかしら？はい。
Mom or sister?
お母さん？
家の中手伝ってくれてる人。
Hmm.
八代さん。
It's like a maid?
いつも部屋に呼んでる子誰って。だからなんで勝手に入ってくるかな。
I mean, they are well off, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Toru household.
トール君、変なことしたら奥様に言いますよ。
ヤシロさんが帰ってきたからもうしねえよ。
何か
Wait, does that mean he would have tried something if she wasn't there? Look at Yoshikawa.
ヤシロさんが帰ってきたからもうし。
You caught on to that so quick.
I'm so glad I did.
Head pat.
ゲームするんでしょ。これで満足だな。
ここのケーキ美味しいからいっぱいどうぞ。
宮村んちのケーキ
Perfect. That was one of the pre-orders or whatever they had to do for Christmas.
クリスマスうち来てくれるでしょクリスマスうち一緒に
レミ、うちじゃダメ？
私の部屋がいいの
やだ。
What's wrong with her house or her room?
No.
Oh, it makes sense who would be yelling at him and who would be comforting her. That makes so much sense.
俺だってこんなこと言いたくないさ。
Okay.
いらっしゃい
She likes bugs.
あれはお父さんので
She doesn't like bugs.
カマキリ。
だって京子、次成績出るときは。
Wow. What
What a
next?
feeling.
What next for her and Miyamura? Do you think they're gonna go to the same school?
見て見て
私は何をしてるんだろう。卒業したら私は。
ございました。
No.
It's cute that like everyone's going to his family's bakery at some point in this episode. I love that.
Yeah.
上見てたら転ぶわよ。
吉川さんのお姉さん。
あれ、今日メガネじゃないのね。
What's the age difference there? Because I was about to say, is that a couple? And then I don't know anymore.
買ってあげましょうか。コンタクト。
高校生にコンタクトをもらう大学生とは。
あ、いや
Interesting.
I know.
I don't hate it at all.
I don't like hate it.
We're getting so much, like, a little bit of everything.
Is
邪魔だよ。
Brother?
テレビ見えねえだろうが。んだとこら、ぶっ殺すクソガキ。穴かんだティッシュぐらいちゃんとしてろや、バカが。キーコが引っ張り出すんだよ。
the cat keeps taking them out? Is that Kiko? I love that he was like watching the TV while fighting.
Wow. I love Toru's fit there. Okay.
Okay, still studying. She looks proud.
すごいごちそうだ標本くらい我慢しなって7時に来いって言われたんでしょ
あ、クリスマス一人か。
毎年一人を仏教だから
Huh.
Oh, okay.
見たこともない虫と食事なんかできないよ。
I really relate to him with this. I am so scared of bugs.
私ももう一回3年生やろうかな早く卒業しなよ
無茶言うなよ。
Oh, man.
待ってて。1年だけ。
でもケーキ届けに来るらしい。
ああ、マジか。
って言ってくれるかしら。玄関で帰るんじゃない？宮村だ。
Oh, no.
おー
Oh, yes.
宮村君来たー。
私そこまで送ってくるからついてくんじゃないわよ。
Wow. The art direction's so good.
Why is she lagging so far behind?
I think she's thinking about what's gonna happen after high school.
もう少しで卒業だね。私はさ、まだ全然宮村のこと知らないけどさ。
We had this, like, exact scene.
堀さん、
Wow,
俺さ、何も知らないけど。
that's great. That was awesome.
卒業しても宮村と一緒にいたい。そういうのってダメかな。
Chills, man.
It's like an extra confession.
じゃあ結婚しよう。
Was that a translation error?
初
Oh, I don't think so by his
幸せ
reaction.
にしてあげるよ。
That wasn't a no.
私が宮村を幸せにしてあげるっつってんのよ。
普通逆でしょ。
あんたじゃ無理よ。私わがままだし。
よろしくお願いします。
あ、いや、こちらこそ。
So freaking cute.
Oh my god.
店戻るね。
あ、うん、頑張って。寒い。私も早く帰ろう。顔だけ熱い。
That flew by, dude. It looks like we have an after credit though.
Awesome, awesome.
I cannot believe that just happened, but I'm so happy it did.
LOL to her being like, let's stay together after we graduate, and him being like, let's get married.
I think that my love for the show and each character is the reason I'm able to still enjoy the show, even though I get only little bits of each character.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm honest, I would love 10 minutes each with every character we saw this episode.
I think what helps with that point is that there's no like filler really when it's focusing on one of the characters. It's
True.
like really substance to their getting to know their personality and their interpersonal relationships.
Like the moment we had with Shindo, right?
Yeah, that even was like very profound.
And like I feel like I could have had a few more minutes on that, but just the context that they gave me was enough for me to understand what was going on in my head and kind of like fill in the
I even
parts
think
that
about
weren't there.
like even more minor characters than that. Like I don't know if you consider them more minor, but like Hori's parents.
Yeah.
Like every conversation they have in the background while Hori's talking.
初詣って毎年行ってる？
New Year's.
ねえ、今年はさ、一緒に行かない？なんて書いてあった？
落ち着いて頑張れみたいな感じかな。堀さんがこれからも笑っててくれるならそれでいいよ。
何？よく聞こえなかった。
何も。
そう？
I love the music in this show.
来年最初に会うのも宮村なんだな。
That's one of the best feelings.
この先もずっとそうだといいね。
My heart.
ねえ宮村。私たちずっと一緒？
ずっと一緒。
Okay, that was Horimiya episode 12. That kind of seemed like an ending in itself almost.
I would have honestly, if you had asked me if there was another episode, I would have said no after that, you know?
Yeah.
Which makes me feel like the final episode might even be like a quick like glance at everyone.
Yeah.
Of like where they are when they graduate. If anything, it's probably graduation, right?
That's so
For
true.
the story.
Yeah, I'm upset ahead of time because I don't want there to be a moment of all the friends being like, all right, we're going our separate ways, you know?
It'll probably be like, I'm going to this school, I'm going there. But if anything, it kind of makes sense. I mean, not only did this episode have such a great kind of bookmark to Hori and Miyamura, but it glanced over basically all of the main actual relationships, whether romantic or platonic. And I think that this episode in general kind of brought a lot of good closure already.
How were they able in like 22 minutes to make a good like it didn't feel like an incomplete at all A storyline while also having like a B, C, D, E, F, and G storyline at the same time.
I wonder if it's because it was all around an overarching theme of the holidays that is the only reason that it was successful. If there hadn't been something that they were all planning to do together or hang out around, or some theme or event that made people want to be with the people that they love, like around the holidays, I think the feeling of the atmosphere of the holidays is what made it successful with kind of glancing over each kind of relationship.
Even if like the character in the moment that we were following, like, or the interactions, whether it was, you know, like Toru and Yuki or Aisaki and Sengoku, even if like a new thing or issue potentially, or like a new plot point was introduced, like the characters have been written to us and shown to us in a certain way that it doesn't matter that there's not like 10 minutes of like full story, because we know enough about how this character thinks and acts that it like fills in every blank you'd think of, you know?
Right.
You're able to fulfill those like kind of storylines. I kind of wish we got a little more Sengoku and Aisaki there, like maybe him at the dinner table or something.
I'm so glad that Kono had a part in that.
You're right. Actually,
it
you're
would
right.
have been very, because obviously they're the trio of friendship. That's really integral to, I guess, all three of their plot lines in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Their friendship and kind of how it started and how Ayasaki and Sengoku's relationship started. So I'm really glad that Kono was still involved in this episode. But I will say that I find it very interesting. The poster for the show, the main like kind of image for the show, is in front of us right now on the screen. And the two green-haired characters are the ones that, I don't know about Akane, I'm not gonna, like, I don't know. But the two green-haired characters are the only two that don't have any romantic, they didn't have someone at Christmas Eve that they were hanging out with other than, like, a platonic friend and a little sister.
Yeah.
And I find that very interesting that they both have green hair. Don't you?
I mean, it's a connection.
I mean, it's just like all of them have such fun, different color hair, and it's just funny to me that the two green-haired characters, both in like opposite corners of the poster, don't have like a relationship, like love right now, a love interest. I don't know about Akane and Yuki's older sister, but
that was
it was kind of like, it kind of hinted it a little bit, possibly, right?
Yeah, I don't think it was in my head, I'm not like, okay, they're trying to tell us that there's something there. I think they're trying to tell us, they're trying to make us think about it a little bit, maybe.
Okay. I mean, that's enough for me.
Yeah.
Just make me think about things. That's cool.
I really liked, like, we saw her for a second, but I liked seeing Sawada coming out of the bakery, because then in my head, I'm filling in, like, I'm making up scenes in headcanon in my head, like, oh, her and Miyamura have just continued their relationship and friendship and have gotten close.
Yeah, and
like,
look how happy, and you saw how happy she was when she walked out of there. He was probably in there.
Yeah.
He probably handed it to her. They probably had a little conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was probably a really sweet moment that we can infer happened.
I feel so disappointed in myself. Who is the character who had the childhood bad relationship with Miyamura, and then is it
Tanehara.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say it, but I didn't want to. Tanehara-kun. His little moment, I didn't get as much from.
It
I
wasn't
think
needed as much.
Yeah. I liked seeing him, of course.
So
but...
like, Shoes made sense because he was a real big part of an episode.
Mm-hmm.
Akane's made sense because the character he was interacting with was the sister of one of our main characters we follow.
And they've met before. And Shoes worked because we'd already had Moto's interaction. It was both of them together, and it's just continuing their story.
And Shindo's worked because they've already had
established
Hori
that.
was like, who's that girl that's hanging on to Miyamura's arm?
And we knew that he stayed a year
interaction.
behind.
Yes. So all of theirs felt like it had a place, I guess, more than the Tanehara and his older brother scene, especially because it was literally just them watching TV. I liked it. I liked seeing where everyone was at during the
I probably
holidays.
missed something, honestly, like to feel the way
Maybe
that
he
I
was
feel.
eating cake.
Yeah.
Was he?
Maybe.
He might have been, because that would have been like the tie through the whole
Yeah.
thing. That would have been.
I wouldn't be
connection.
surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was also eating cake from Miyamura's family's shop.
I am so obsessed with this show, man.
When Toru, when there was the woman, and I was like thinking in my head, I don't think that's his mom. And I was like,
Yashiro.
is that an older sister? And as soon as he said it wasn't like a family member, I suddenly thought that it was going to be like a jealousy situation. And that Yoshikawa was going to get the wrong idea.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because she pointed out they were both tall, so maybe she was like, oh, he should end up with a tall girl.
I'm glad they didn't go that way. I'm glad that they used her character, Yashiro's, as a means for Toru to say, I wouldn't do it, or like, cause she, I'm really glad that they used it in that.
And
way.
I think he also said that she has been asking about Yuki prior, and that was another sweet kind of. Yeah, they basically used her character as a device to show that Toru talks about Yoshikawa and also thinks certain things about her, like that he wouldn't necessarily do anything to her since there's someone else in the house.
I got worried when Toru was having the conversation with the other guys that the potential, like the outcome of this episode is going to be both of them having to communicate what they want to do or like steps going forward. And I was worried that Yuki might be like, no, I want to make this something, even though I didn't really feel that way. But it seemed like Yuki got her understanding of how Toru felt based off of what Yashiro said and like how he always talks about her kind of thing. And I'm really, really glad that it seems like Toru is just 100% confident in his place right now with Yuki, which isn't a relationship. It could develop into one, but
it has all the stepping stones to become one. I don't think they've left a wall there that feels like, ooh, they're going to have to climb that hurdle. It just seems like it's only time is going to bring them to confessing. If anything, maybe they'll start still acting like they're dating to the point where they get married and they're like, wait, did either of us confess already? Or we're already married. What? So it might be one of those kind of things where they're just so...
But it feels so natural.
So natural, so comfortable together that there's never going to be like a real kind of big confession moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be more like oh, I like you. Oh, I've known this whole time. Okay, cool.
I'm so glad that they use the seasons in this show as an excuse to like show more like aesthetic clothing, scenery, like the storyboarding of the show is amazing. I love the way that they use light when they do. Like the scene of Hori and Miyamura in the street was beautiful.
Yes. They use artistic touches in this show to break you out of the moment of the kind of the reality of them standing in the street. And I think that's one of my favorite moments about this show is that it really highlights emotion and happiness, blushing, moments of understanding what someone else is thinking, moments of clarity with your own feelings. I think it's really beautiful.
Kono is Buddhist. I didn't expect it. I wonder if like I knew more about Buddhism and like the art of it, it would like have things to do with certain character traits that she has and how she handles certain things. She's obviously a very emotional, well thought out person and very caring and like amazing. And I want her happiness, not to say that she's unhappy right now, but I want everybody's happiness.
Yeah. I would definitely agree with you that it doesn't obviously seem like she's unhappy. She has two amazing friends. She's not jealous of the fact that they're together, of their relationship. She supports them. She loves them. They support her and love her. Mm-hmm. She's not alone. She has many people who care about her and love her. And I would say that it definitely doesn't seem like she has taken the heartbreak and taken it down a bad path of, depression, feeling alone, being unhappy. She definitely if anything, I think it's because she confessed.
Yeah.
I think it's because she had her moment where it was her control, it was her decision. She knew that the outcome might not be what she wanted it to be. She had reflected on that being the case, and then she did it. She confessed, and she had to live with whatever the results were. And I think she knew and had set herself up for, I have to live with whatever the results are of this. And I can't let myself kind of ruin my happiness based on someone else's feelings.
How long ago did Toru get over Hori?
I know, because he made it sound like he just did like 2 days ago.
I think, obviously, I don't think it was like meant to be like a serious thing as like
Yeah.
a viewer to to think, but it was really funny, and I was
that
like,
interaction.
what? Yeah. God.
That was hilarious though, because it was with two characters that he obviously isn't having very intimate conversations with either Shu or Sengoku, and they were kind of like, wait, what?
I don't think we really. So I'm could be completely off here. It didn't seem to me like recently, in the past like few episodes, especially after Miyamura got his haircut, it doesn't seem like he often wears his piercings or anything anymore, because maybe he is more himself on the outside, so he doesn't, like, verbally to other people, that he doesn't feel like he needs to have this other side of him that could be potentially hidden. He expresses all those emotions now and feelings, and has these relationships that are so true and so like meaningful to him that he's more comfortable with his natural appearance.
Like maybe he did those as a way of kind of building up his exterior as like a safety thing, as a adding stuff to him to make him be a separate person than the person that people were bullying. So yeah, maybe now he's just fully comfortable with himself, that he doesn't feel like he needs to add anything to himself. I'd still like for him to do his piercings some of the time. I think they look really cool. I hope it's not like oh, that was the past me, I'm not gonna... But I'm not sure.
Marriage.
That was a place to go with that conversation.
Where else could you go? Where else could you go and have the viewer feel is like closure?
Huh. I thought it was enough to say that they were gonna date after graduation.
Yeah, agreed.
But it did create a very cute moment. It did. Because then he was like, oh God, did I say that out loud? And she was like, I'm gonna make you happy. And I was like, this is perfect.
Didn't that seem more true to their characters, rather than saying, well, we'll go to college and we'll work through it, or we're gonna be working after high school and we'll stay together? Like, it felt like it warranted a big response like that.
Like Hori being very adamant and blunt about something, and Miyamura being like, oh yeah, I feel the same way, you know?
Yeah.
It makes sense for their characters.
All right, that's all I have. I love the show, dude.
So there's only one more left?
Yeah, one more left.
Dang.
All right, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.